Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rakelli, and we're going to be talking about this game. Vegas Golden Knights, Washington Capitals. The Vegas Golden Knights lose by a score of 4-2, and let me try to figure out how to say this without saying the word penalties 50 times. Now, when it comes to Vegas, let's go over the pregame notes because that's gonna take like 2 minutes and we'll be done and over with that. So when it comes to the roster moves, there was none. Literally no roster moves. Nobody got sent up. Nobody got sent down. The roster remained the exact same. Also, when it comes to the starting lineup, no changes. No changes at all when it comes to the forward lines. Ivan Barbashev, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Pavel Dorofeyev, Tomas Hertl, Alexander Holt, Brett Howden, Nick Waugh, Victor Olofsson, Tanner Pearson, Cole Schwinn, and Keegan Kolesar. Your defensive pairings are the exact same. Nick Hague, Noah Hannafin, Alex Pietrangelo, Shea Theodore, Braden McNabb, Zach Whitecloud. And who's in net for the Golden Knights? Adin Hill. Adin Hill will be in net for the Vegas Golden Knights. And since so many people are going to talk about it and so many people want to know about it, yes, I am well aware of the fact that Logan Thompson was going to go up against Adin Hill. That was the main storyline entering this game, okay? Adin Hill and Logan Thompson, they were the tandem the last 2 seasons for your Vegas Golden Knights. And it was going to be interesting that Logan Thompson's first start as a Washington Capital just so happened to be against his former team in the Vegas Golden Knights. And we do player of the game for a Vegas Golden Knights player. We do that for every single game. But when it comes to acknowledging somebody else as a player of the game, you know, Logan Thompson would have to be on that list. What he did in net for the Washington Capitals in this game tonight. Logan Thompson, 24 saves on the game. So, yeah, 24 out of 26 saves. Adin Hill, I'm not even going to get into what he did tonight because I actually find that to be just a tad bit underwhelming what Adin Hill did tonight. So, what happened in this game, you might ask, when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights and the Washington Capitals? Well, to say that there would be a lack of discipline would be an understatement. To say that the Vegas Golden Knights lack discipline was the main takeaway from this game. You had turnovers in the neutral zone, turnovers in the defensive zone, turnovers in the offensive zone. Let's see if I can get to 50. There has been so many turnovers in this game. I mean, shoot, Vegas Golden Knights might as well open a bakery because that's what they were doing. It was just turnover after turnover after turnover. So the first 3 games, I did say that there was a lingering problem about the way Vegas lacked discipline. It seemed like their puck possession was not as great as it should be. But my, oh my, this first game on the road really showed how lack of discipline the Vegas Golden Knights had. And don't get me even started on the penalties for the Vegas Golden Knights. The Vegas Golden Knights had 3 penalties in this game, but they were essentially on top of each other back to back to back. Towards the end of the first period, Nicholas Waugh, tripping penalty. He goes to the penalty box. All right, start out the second period. Not even half a minute into the second period, you get a tripping penalty for Noah Hannafin. He goes to the penalty box. Then not even 2 minutes later, Braden McNabb, tripping. He goes to the penalty box. That is absolutely embarrassing that you have not 1, not 2, but 3 tripping penalties back to back to back. You were essentially asking the Washington Capitals, hey, do you want a free goal? You want a goal? Please, just take it. I mean, to me, that's just a lack of discipline. I don't understand that. I mean, this is also the same Vegas Golden Knights team that was on the power play 4 times and only had 1 power play goal. And we'll get to that goal in just a second. But, okay, so you go 1 for 4 on the power play. And then you go 2 for 3 on the penalty kill. At least he killed off those penalties. But still, it remains. The fact that you had so many tripping penalties, that is an embarrassment when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't understand the logic there of why you would have so many tripping penalties called back to back to back. So that was a lack of discipline there. I really did not like what we saw there. Saying that the Vegas Golden Knights have a neutral zone problem, this has been the 4th game in a row where they're just doing so many sloppy passes in the neutral zone. Could be Theodore, Pietrangelo, Barbashev, Stone, regardless of who it is. Trying to shoot across your body in the neutral zone is just asking for somebody to intercept it and keep going around the other way. Now you're back in the defensive zone. I don't understand why their puck possession and the way they're shooting the puck around, I don't get why it's so sloppy, why it's so unorganized for the Vegas Golden Knights. That's like one of the main concepts of hockey. You got to be smart with the way you shoot your puck. But when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights, unfortunately in this game, when you're watching it and you even look at the box score for the Vegas Golden Knights, this is a Vegas Golden Knights team that had, 7 giveaways. All right, 7 giveaways for the Vegas Golden Knights. So overall, when it comes to the amount of times they turn the puck over, this is just a team that just keeps on turning over the puck at the wrong time. And they've been doing it a couple of times this year, but this game was really a notable occurrence as when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights, how they performed in this game. I will give them credit. Their block shots were up in this game. All right. 15 block shots. This is a team that's mostly known for blocking shots, but the last couple of games to really begin the year, you didn't see a huge number of block shots there. For the Vegas Golden Knights, I also have to say when it comes to the faceoff circle, 55% Washington, 45% Vegas. So it's kind of, not a big difference. It wasn't like 60-40 or 65-35. But, 55-45 for Vegas. So you did lose the battle, but it wasn't that big of a battle in the faceoff circle. Now, one concern that I do have to mention is the lack of hits in this game. This is a Vegas Golden Knights team that, I thought was going to have some physicality to begin the year, but to have almost triple the amount of hits for Washington as they did for Vegas, 24 compared to just 9 for the Golden Knights. That's not a great number for Vegas to have that little amount of hits in this game. Just for reference, you compare it to the last game Vegas did, where the Vegas Golden Knights took on the Anaheim Ducks. The amount of hits that Vegas had there, you had 15. So, 9 is kind of about cut in half from what you did the previous game. And even then, they got out-hit by Anaheim as well. So, I don't know where the physicality needs to be coming from. Could be the 4th line. Maybe the defensive pairings need to step up and do more hip checks and body checks. But when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights, so you're lacking some physicality. You are causing tripping penalties, 3 in one game. You have a lack of discipline. You're causing turnovers. You're just giving the puck away. To say that this might be one of the worst performing games of the year would be an understatement. However, last year when they were in Washington, they had one of their worst performances last year. So maybe it's just going to Washington, D.C. in general. Maybe that's just why the Golden Knights perform so badly at Capital One Arena. And you know what? Maybe that's it, right? That's the explanation there. That's the Vegas Golden Knights perform very badly in Washington. That's what we saw on display. Now, for Alex Ovechkin, the Great 8, had a 2-assist night. He was an assist on the Tom Wilson power play goal to put the Washington Capitals up 2-1. And then he also had an assist on the next goal not even 2 minutes later. So for someone like Alex Ovechkin, overall a quiet night for someone of his standards, but a 2-assist night for Alex Ovechkin. And he helped the Washington Capitals out there. Tom Wilson scoring on the power play. A lot of people forget that Tom Wilson, even though he is a big body and he does like to throw it around, he can shoot the puck and he can put it in the back of the net at some times. And the last big noticeable thing I do want to mention was the Jacob Vrana goal. Jacob Vrana, 6 minutes into the first period, he would score the first goal of the game, and it would be for Washington. But man, what an embarrassing goal it was for the Vegas Golden Knights. Zach Whitecloud, he has the puck. He is near the goalie. He's near the net. He's trying to dish it out. And when he shoots it, Andrew Mangiapane just grabs the puck, shifts his body, shoots it over to Jacob Vrana, and he beats Aiden Hill to score that first goal of the game. Now, I'm not upset at the goaltender, right? Aiden Hill, that was a bang-bang situation. There's not much you could do there. I really don't blame the other 4 players that were on the ice for that situation. No, the main person you got to blame is Zach Whitecloud. What type of performance was that? All right, you are in this zone right here. You have to dump the puck out, but it really seemed like he literally just gave Mangiapane the puck, and Mangiapane was like, really? Okay. And he just shot it straight over to Vrana, and he scored the goal. So, yeah, very sloppy in the defensive zone. It's just shooting the puck over. And, yeah, not really much I can say positively about that play when it comes to Zach Whitecloud. That was just a very unfortunate goal for the Vegas Golden Knights to give up. And some other notable stuff I want to talk about really quick. Congratulations to Nicholas Hague. 300 games played as a Vegas Golden Knight. All of them as a Vegas Golden Knight. So congratulations to Nick Hague on that accomplishment. You know what? I'm also going to say for Mark Stone, he had a 2-assist night on the game. So for Mark Stone to be a part of both goals for the Vegas Golden Knights really shows you that when he is on the ice as a captain, Mark Stone is one of the most valuable players the Vegas Golden Knights have. Ivan Barbashev, he picked up another point on the game. Jack Eichel scoring his second goal of the game of the season. So from a guy like Jack Eichel, he's providing his value there. Mark Stone, he's showing value. Tomas Hertl was on the power play unit. He had an assist there. But one last notable thing we do have to talk about is the Victor Olofsson injury. Towards the end of the game, Victor Olofsson, he did suffer what looks like an injury. He did go off the ice. And after the game, he was shown in crutches. So we don't know what the timetable is. We don't know what the timeline will be for an injury for Victor Olofsson. But what's next could be Brendan Brisson. He might be back in the starting lineup to replace a guy like Victor Olofsson. You also have some guys in the minors that you could bring up if you need to. You have Mason Morelli. He's out there in Henderson. You also have players like Tanner Lesneski. And you also have, if you need a winger, could be someone like, for example, Gregory Diansenko, who is also down in the minors. So, you do have some players that have had experience in the NHL. But if Victor Olofsson is out, that means that Carlson would be out. He is still going to be out for a while. And Victor Olofsson, if this injury does end up being a long-term situation, he might have to be out, and Brendan Brisson might be back in the lineup. And if that's the case, I actually could see that third line being kind of what similar to was on opening night with one small difference. I think that third line could be a Brett Howden, Nicholas Waugh, and Brendan Brisson on that third line. Cole Schwinn would still be on the fourth with Kolazar and with Pearson. And moving forward for your Vegas Golden Knights, heading into the second and third game of this road trip out there when you're taking on the Eastern Conference, you had a game against Washington. That's what we're doing right here, right now, Vegas Hockey Hub recap. And then you have the Tampa Bay Lightning, the 2-time Stanley Cup champion from a couple of years ago. And you're going to be taking on them on Thursday. We're going to record the recap show we do after every single game. We upload them here to PR Connections Radio. And then on Saturday will be the game against Florida, the defending Stanley Cup champions. So I did say that hopefully for the Golden Knights, having 2 wins out of 3 would be best case scenario. Having 0 out of 3 would be the worst case scenario. And the most likely scenario would be 1-1-1. 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 overtime loss. So for the Vegas Golden Knights, going to be interesting to see how the rest of this road trip goes, because the Washington Capitals game was sloppy. It did not look right. And as a Vegas Golden Knights team that they were putting up some shots. 26 shots on net, but only 2 of them got in the back of the net. So for Vegas, as we have about 5 minutes left here on Vegas Hockey Hub recap. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of the team does. Second line, Tomas Hertl showing a little bit of progress, but Dorofeyev and Holtz, I still haven't seen a lot of production from those two. The first line has by far been the best line. It's not even close for the Vegas Golden Knights. That first line has been your bread and butter for Vegas. They have arguably been in terms of goal scoring, in terms of assists, in terms of points, plus, minus, whatever category it is for the Vegas Golden Knights, that first line has been the best. And then you also have the third line with Victor Olofsson, 3 goals on the year, but with him possibly being out, that means that Brett Howden has 2, Nicholas Waugh has 1, and then whoever they put on the third line is probably going to have 0 at that point. And then your fourth line, Kolazar picked up a couple assists in previous games. Cole Schwinn had his first point 2 games ago. And then Tanner Pearson, who was pretty good in the preseason, we're waiting to see what he can do long term. Defensively, I wonder about Whitecloud. And this isn't just based off of the reaction of what happened just earlier tonight. But I am very curious to see, does Ben Hutton get a chance to play? Does Caden Korzak get a chance to play? Because I really sit here and analyze it and go, you know what? When it comes to Vegas, if Whitecloud continues to make mistakes, do you make him a healthy scratch? Similar to what happened last year when the defensemen were starting to get kind of top-heavy. Zach Whitecloud and Alec Martinez spent arguable time being healthy scratches and being replaced by somebody else. If Zach Whitecloud continued to have turnovers like he did in this game, I don't expect him to be the starting defenseman for much longer. Him being in the lineup every single game, it's going to really depend on performance. So for Zach Whitecloud, I kind of hope that they would stop with the turnovers. Nicholas Waugh, there was a really bad turnover that led into one of their goals in the second period. That was unfortunate to see. But yeah, just like the title of the video says, the Vegas Golden Knights walking to a loss. All right, that's what they did. They walked into a loss. It didn't seem like they were running. There was really a lack of energy in the first period. It seemed like they were just kind of stuck in neutral in that entire first period. Energy picked up a little bit in the second period, but then it kind of just flatlined and stayed kind of neutral in the third. So, for the Vegas Golden Knights, I really sit here and look at what they can do against Tampa Bay. Hopefully the turnovers will be less. And, hopefully instead of walking in the first period, you kind of put on your boots, you strap up your gym shoes, and you go running, and you try to, be electrifying in that first period, add some energy into the game. So, for the Vegas Golden Knights, we'll see what they do against Tampa Bay. We'll see what they do against Florida. And then don't forget that next week, the LA Kings, that will be the first game back at home, and that will be on October 22nd for the LA Kings Vegas Golden Knights game. Don't worry, here on Vegas Hockey Hub, we are going to record footage. We do for all the morning skates. We try to do every single game, try to upload content to PR Connections Radio or to our social media pages at Vegas Hockey Hub. And if you want to follow your host, I'm at Ian J. Rakelli. So until next time, I'm your host, Ian Rakelli. And very unfortunate game. I kind of wish there was a lot more we could have said. But, Victor Olofsson, hopefully he comes back soon. Don't want anything permanent or long-term. Lack of discipline. I hope they kind of, reverse the turnovers. And with the Vegas Golden Knights record of 3-1, they're going to move over to Tampa Bay and try to get their 4th win of the season. Until next time, go Knights, go.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.